Hi everybody, my name's Billy from Piano and Pies. Let's get stuck straight in. So there are a few parts to this track, and the song starts off with a melody on the guitar. To play this the easiest, we're going to be using a capo on fret 2. And what we're going to do is start on fret 5 up from the capo. And you'll see on the screen, all of these numbers are in reference to the capo. So the real fret is fret 7, but we're in reference to this being 0. So we're going to start on fret 5 of the A string, and we play that string followed by the open string of D, and then we go back and forth. Basically that note is always going to be there, and we're going to play 5, 0, and then 5, 4. You can see I've got my finger there, 4 frets up from the capo, then 5, 0, 5, 2. That's a really big stretch there. That's why I recommend playing the 5 with that finger, or maybe even your little finger. Then slide that finger along, and we've got 4, open D string, 4, 2, then 4, 0, 4, 0. We then have 2 on the A string, 2, 0, 2, then 2 on the D string. You can either use a flat finger, like I did during the introduction of the song, or you can use another finger. And then we jump to the E string on 2, and then 4 on the A string, and just go back and forth. So to very slowly play all those parts together, we get this. Now we play that through twice for the introduction, but on the second time round, when you go to that last part, don't play all of it, just play the very first note and let that sustain for the bar. So after that we get to the first verse. That's when the vocal parts come in and you repeat the same thing 2 more times, and then we get to a pre-chorus, which is the same thing again. However, if you're not wanting to play the riff and you want to play the chords for it in the background, let's say you just want to strum along to the track, the chords that would replace those riffs are D major, which is an open D string, 2 on the G, 3 on the B, 2 on the high E. Then you would need a D/C sharp, which is basically a D chord where your little finger goes to fret 4 on the A string. It's a stretch, this one. We then go to B minor, which is 2 on the A string, 4, 4 on the D and G, 3 on the B, and 2 on the high E. Before going to an F sharp minor on the top string, which is basically the same shape, up a string, and get rid of the middle finger. Now be careful that F sharp minor during the pre-chorus turns into an F sharp major where the finger does go on. More about that in a second. In terms of strumming, if we're choosing to play the chords, we can come up with our own strumming pattern, but basically you could play. And I'm just playing down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up for every chord. But before I change to the next chord, for example, we could have 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got a very quick down, up. So I use that kind of fast pattern to move from one chord to the next. So when we get to the chorus, we have some new chords to play, and we're going to sustain them. This is what happens on the track. And just before I mention about what those chords are, if you're interested in getting the chord chart for this, as well as the chords and the lyrics matched up, then head on over to Patreon. There is a link in the description, and just for a few dollars you get everything right professionally. Let's say you want to sing and play along and you want to make sure that you match up your words and the chords correctly. That's a place to get the sheets. So feel free to check them out. It's just a few dollars and you get access to over 300 songs of the latest releases. However, G major will start off the chorus. So G major is a 3 on the E string, 2 on the A, 0, 0, 0, and a 3 on the high E string. Before we go to a D major chord, we've already talked about that. We then have an A major chord, which is an open A string, 2, 2, 2 on the D, G, and B, and then an open E string, before going to a B minor shape, which again we've talked about already. Now the first 2 times round, we sustain the chords, as in we let them ring out. We're going to hold them for 4 beats each. G, 2, 3, 4, D, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, B minor 2, 3, 4. You'll do that twice. The last 2 times round the chorus, what we can do instead is play the chords where we play the low note followed by the higher notes of the chords. Yeah, they add that in for the 3rd and 4th time round. So I'm just playing whatever the lowest note of the chord is with a downstroke, and then the higher notes of the chord with an upstroke. I'm not being accurate, they're not either. They're just aiming for the higher bunch of strings. It's not just 1 or 2, they're just giving it a bit of a strum. And what you do is play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, or down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And we do that for all of the chords. G, D, A, B minor. And just remember, whatever your lowest note of the chord is the one that you pluck downwards. So for the D chord, I'm not strumming in the E string, that's not part of the chord. The open D string is. So at that point, looking over to my notes, we have a ton of repetition. There is a second verse, which is the same as that riff. We then play that twice. There's a pre-chorus, which is the same thing again. We then have another chorus, which is the same as the chorus that we've already tried. And after that, there is a bridge section of sorts where the lyrics change, but it's the same chords as the chorus, and you can choose to strum along with it if you like. So you can have a full-on strum pattern with G, D, A major, B minor. Do that 4 times round, and then at the end of the song we have a bit of a quiet chorus where you could play 2, 3, 4, sustaining the chords like normal. And if you do that twice, you get to the end of the song. And that is the end of the song. So if you found it useful, please like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Also consider getting the extra material over on Patreon, like the people on the screen will. Those are my active patrons. So the moment this video goes live, they can play along with the song straight away with those 2 extra sheets. So thanks to them for their support. Thanks to you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.